It was supposed to be the interview of the decade, sunshine pouring down over a lush California garden, birds chirping sweetly in the background, and there she was, Meghan Markle, hand in hand with Prince Harry, sitting across from none other than Oprah Winfrey herself. Millions tuned in expecting royal bombshells, confessions, and tears. And yes, they got plenty of that. But what the cameras didn't show, the whispers, the sideways glances, the secrets nobody dared bring up, that's where the real story lies. Because while the world focused on Meghan's carefully chosen words, the people behind the cameras noticed something strange, something they couldn't unsee. Crew members whispered about Meghan's belly. "It doesn't look right," some muttered under their breath. The bump didn't just sit there like a normal pregnancy belly. It seemed to shift, almost slide, beneath her designer clothes in ways that made no sense. A natural bump doesn't behave like that. And then, silence. Those whispers shut down instantly. Sources claimed Oprah's crew was forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. Imagine that. Professionals who film every kind of scandal suddenly gagged into silence. Oprah, the queen of asking the questions nobody else dares, apparently leaned in, ready to raise the subject herself. But Meghan? Oh, Meghan cut her off cold. Not now. Just like that, the cameras rolled on. The moment was buried, and the juiciest question of all never made it to air. The audience thought they saw it all. They didn't. The biggest secret might have been left completely off screen, and here's the thing. These weren't new whispers. Ever since Meghan's first pregnancy, people had been talking. Paparazzi shots, candid videos, angles that seemed a little too suspicious. Her baby bump, some said, looked square. In videos, when she crouched down, it even seemed to fold. Mothers everywhere shook their heads. Bumps don't slip, don't inflate or deflate like balloons. Yet Meghan's seemed to move in ways no natural belly should. Cue the phrase that would haunt her, the moon bump. The accusation was outrageous but simple. Meghan wasn't really carrying her own child. Instead, she was hiding a surrogate and strapping on a prosthetic bump to fool the world. Shocking? Yes. Unproven? Completely. But once that idea hit the tabloids and internet forums, there was no going back. Every photo, every public appearance became evidence. Was the bump sitting too low? Was it shifting too much? Was it inflating faster than it should? Meghan's private journey into motherhood turned into a public courtroom, and the jury was the entire world. Yet for all the rumors, nothing concrete ever surfaced. No documents leaked, no admissions spilled. What survived was something far more powerful than proof: suspicion. And suspicion is enough to ruin a reputation forever. But then came Archie's birth, May 6th, 2019, 5:26 in the morning, officially at Portland Hospital in London. The records exist. The baby exists. On paper, it was all clear. But instead of silencing the rumors, it only added fuel to the fire. Why? Because of one tiny but oh so crucial mistake. Just hours before Archie's birth was announced, palace officials told the press Meghan was in labor. By the time reporters rushed to cover the breaking news, Archie was already born. That wasn't just a slip-up. In the obsessive world of royal watchers, it was gasoline poured straight onto the blaze. If they lied about the timeline, what else could they be hiding? That's when the moon bump rumor stopped being a whisper and became a wildfire. And Meghan and Harry, intentionally or not, fanned the flames. Royal tradition is everything. Diana did it. Kate did it. Walking out of the hospital doors, glowing and holding their newborns just hours after birth, proving to the world that everything was real. Meghan, she broke that tradition. No hospital steps, no cameras, no moment of truth. Instead, they staged a carefully controlled photo op inside Windsor Castle days later. To some, it looked modern. To others, it looked like a cover-up. And in the royal world, appearances are everything. That Windsor Castle debut was supposed to feel magical, but instead it felt off. Too polished, too staged, too controlled. For critics already suspicious, it wasn't a proud new family moment. It was a cover-up. Why couldn't Meghan do what Diana and Kate had done so effortlessly? Why not show the world the baby in the raw, unfiltered moment? Then came the paperwork twist, Archie's birth certificate. At first, it looked normal, but then people noticed something odd. Meghan's given names had been removed, gone. Just like that. A mother's own name scrubbed from her child's record. The palace tried to brush it off as a bureaucratic formality. But who were they kidding? To the public, it looked shady. To Meghan's critics, it was confirmation that the story didn't add up. And once again, whispers about moon bumps and surrogates resurfaced with even more force. You see, when royals break tradition, the public doesn't forgive easily. Every little decision Meghan and Harry made, no hospital steps, no instant photos, altered paperwork, became another crack in the wall of trust. And cracks like that don't just close up. But the Oprah interview, oh, that was when the story exploded. The world was already hanging on Meghan's every word when she dropped the bombshell that sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. She said that during her pregnancy, there were concerns and conversations within the royal family about how dark Archie's skin might be. Oprah's eyes nearly popped out of her head. What? Who is having that conversation with you? She demanded. Meghan didn't name names. She said it would be too damaging. But the damage was already done. The headline was clear. Racism inside the palace. Within 24 hours, Oprah clarified that Meghan had told her the Queen and Prince Philip were not involved. Even so, the bomb had already detonated. Buckingham Palace scrambled to respond, putting out a carefully worded statement. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Those four little words, "some recollections may vary," became infamous. That was the palace's polite but razor-sharp way of saying Meghan's truth wasn't necessarily the truth. And just like that, doubt slithered in again. If Meghan's recollection of the racism conversation was being questioned, then what else in her story could be? To critics, it was an open invitation to revisit every rumor, yes, even the moon bump. 2 years later, Harry only made things worse. Promoting his memoir, Spare, in 2023, he sat down with ITV's Tom Bradby and CBS in the US, and out of nowhere, he shifted the story. "I never said my family were racist," he insisted. Wait, what? He reframed the infamous Oprah moment as a case of unconscious bias, not racism, bias. A chance to learn, a softer explanation that might have been meant to heal but instead sparked outrage. If it wasn't racism, then why didn't he say so back in 2021? Why let the royal family be branded racist for 2 years, only to suddenly change the story now? Critics accused him of moving the goalposts. Others whispered Meghan had exaggerated, or maybe Harry was backtracking to protect the same family he once accused. Either way, it made the Oprah interview, the interview of the decade, look messy, contradictory, and incomplete. And when one story changes, people start wondering how many others have too. By this point, Meghan's pregnancy was more of a public trial than a personal journey. Every move, every photo, every clip was dissected. And let's not forget the glamorous New York baby shower in February 2019. Serena Williams, Amal Clooney, Oprah's best friend Gayle King. It was star-studded perfection. But then came another whisper. One evening, out with her friend Marcus Anderson, Meghan supposedly forgot her prosthetic bump. Allegedly. Was it true? Who knows? There were no photos, no proof, but once that rumor got out, it refused to die. Suddenly, what should have been a glittering celebration of new motherhood was twisted into evidence of a staged pregnancy. Why? Because it's not just about Meghan, it's about secrecy. It's about the things powerful people choose not to say. The question Oprah's crew allegedly whispered about but never dared to raise. The mistakes, the contradictions, the carefully staged appearances that left just enough cracks for doubt to seep through. Think about it. Archie's birth announcement mishandled. The hospital steps tradition ignored. The certificate altered. The Oprah racism bombshell contradicted later by Harry himself. Each one alone might have been nothing, but together they paint a picture of a story that doesn't line up neatly. And when people feel like they're being played, suspicion doesn't die, it multiplies. Even Meghan's glamorous baby shower, once meant to be a moment of joy, is forever clouded by whispers of forgotten bumps and discarded props. Frogmore Cottage, meant to be a family's safe haven, gets dragged into gossip about aides stumbling upon fake bellies. And that Mayhew charity clip, innocent or not, will always live online as a flashing neon sign for conspiracy lovers. It's brutal, it's unfair, but it's reality. Because in the royal world, appearances mean everything. And once the public loses faith in those appearances, there's no going back. Once people start asking if the bump was real, it doesn't matter how many documents exist. The whispers echo louder than the truth. And maybe that's the tragedy of Meghan's story. She and Harry wanted to control their narrative, to step away from traditions, to live differently. But in doing so, they left gaps. Gaps big enough for the most scandalous rumors to slip right in. So here we are, years later, still talking about the moon bump. Not because of what can be proven, but because of what was never addressed. And that's the kicker. The moon bump rumor isn't just about Meghan. It's about the monarchy, about secrecy, about how shadows form when the truth is left unsaid. Oprah's garden looked picture perfect that day. Meghan's words seemed powerful. Harry's loyalty seemed fierce. But behind the birdsong and the sunshine, there was a shadow that never went away. A shadow born out of silence. And until that silence is broken, until someone dares to answer the question Oprah never asked, the world will keep waiting, waiting for the moment the whispers either die forever or explode into the biggest royal scandal of all time.